In consumer news tonight, President Biden set to sign the Inflation Reduction Act tomorrow, which has a broad agenda. It includes reducing the deficit without raising taxes on families making less than $400,000, lowering the cost of prescription drugs and health care, fighting climate change, and lowering energy costs. But what about rents? We've seen a slight drop in some consumer goods and services, but overall, prices remain inflated, and that includes rents. Carmela Karcher is here in studio with that part of the coverage tonight. Carmela?
Overall inflation started to ease last month and prices like gas began to slowly dip. One thing has remained the same: high rental costs.
I think people feel this sense of like, I've done something wrong. I haven't worked hard enough, or I didn't make good enough decisions. Like, you can't game a market that's working like this.
Inflation is easing, but rental prices in the desert are not. According to the 2020 census, the median household income for Palm Springs was about $58,000, with only slight increases over the past couple years. But according to Zillow, the average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Palm Springs now is nearly $1,900, up nearly $300 during the same period. That means people who make the median household income spend over a third of their paycheck on rent and are then considered to be under housing cost burden, which means, in general, people are struggling to pay their rent.
Folks who live here and work year-round, the cost of housing is still high and is still increasing, and we still have a crisis deficit supply. So there's just not enough housing, period, and particularly not enough housing for our hardworking folks that fall at the low income end.
And for places like the Coachella Valley, whose economy runs on tourism, and those who work to make the desert what it is, these high prices can become detrimental.
Our economy is really built on the backs of the labor of low income folks who are priced out. And there's anyone who enjoys living in the desert, they're doing so in part on the backs of folks who are not able to survive.
But there is hope. So far, Lift to Rise has deployed $250 million towards rental assistance in the last 2 years, which in turn has kept about 100,000 people housed. While these organizations are doing what they can to help ease this pressure, more needs to be done.
And I think often what we see is that folks do not prioritize housing until it is too late. And we need all of our cities, our county, every single agency that has capacity to make decisions, to be making decisions first of how is this going to increase housing supply.
In rental assistance, Vicona said 45% of applicants were single parents, 89% of single parents were single mothers, and over half of those single mothers had a child between the age of 0 to 5 years old. I'm Carmela Karcher, back to you.